My name is DJ Didana. I'm the Chief Operating Officer and co-founder of the Entrepreneurial Finance Lab. We go by EFL. What EFL is a psychometric credit scoring company to assess risk and opportunity. So using psychometrics in order to determine whether or not an entrepreneur will be successful or unsuccessful in repaying a loan. What I want to have you do is kind of close your eyes and imagine yourself as an entrepreneur. You live in the emerging world, which most of the world is, and you are self-employed, which most of the folks, between 60 and 99% of individuals in the emerging world are self-employed. When you want to grow your business, you go into a financial institution to get a loan. This is often what they see. They're going to see your assets. Do you have collateral? They're going to see your banking history. Have you had a history of having loans? Do you have audited financial statements? What can you kind of bring to the table to prove that you're a worthy borrower? And the problem is in the emerging world, a lot of those things are difficult, if not impossible to have. And especially if you've never had an official loan, you're kind of out of luck. Now, what's the size of this problem and opportunity? IFC, McKinsey, World Bank, you'll see these reports all over. They're big numbers that are hard to get your arm around, but there's 2.5 billion adults across the world that don't have access to formal or semi-formal financial services. Out of those, 90% are in the emerging markets. They estimate that the missing middle finance gap is $1.5 trillion, right? These are big numbers. Zooming in just a little bit on one of our partner countries in India, the government estimates there's about 30 million MSMEs, micro, small to medium enterprises. Out of those, 93% aren't registered at all, right? They're not registered as businesses. And of the ones that are, less than a quarter have credit bureau. So that market all of a sudden looks very small. Oh, and then there's also another 30 million people that work for themselves and don't consider themselves to be businesses and wouldn't get registered. Now, in EFL, we try to measure what every person has, and that's the person. So their ability and their willingness to repay a loan using psychometrics. I'll get into the details about that later. When we say ability, we mean business skills. So not an MBA, but do you know the difference between sales and profits? Fluid intelligence, not education-based, but memory, numeracy, things that have been proven out in academic settings. Willingness, ethics, and honesty. If you can repay a loan, will you? And attitudes and beliefs. Are you optimistic? Are you driven? Do you believe the future is within your control, or is it external forces acting on you? What we're going to do is we're going to run through the quick sample of the EFL application right now. So I'm going to show a number, you're going to remember it, and I'm going to hide it, and you're going to recall it. Do you believe a big part of success is luck? Which of the following should you take into account when calculating costs? What percentage of people are likely to steal? All these questions together build a profile that's been both kind of research has shown that it works, and then also the past 3 years as a private enterprise, we've shown that it works as well. The product itself, 25 to 45 minutes to complete. It's a survey tool, so it can be administered on a PC or a tablet, with or without an internet connection, which is important in the markets in which we work. Delivered via API to a bank's backend or a secure web portal. Customized and translated in over 15 different countries. That's an important thing to adapt it to different countries and cultures and languages as well.
So it's the answer to these questions that reveal whether or not you're a safe risk? Is that what
right.
you said?
So starting in 2006, we were a research lab at Harvard, funded by Google.org and SNV. We scaled across Latin America and Africa, testing micro borrowers, SME borrowers, even VC investees, looking back on their financial performance and also following their performance over time to calibrate the model. 2010, myself and a couple other evil business people came in to privatize the organization, scale it, and sell it to financial institutions. 2011, G20 IFC Award for Most Innovative Access to Finance Business. 2012, Most Innovative Business in Africa. Research has followed our kind of path from BCG and McKinsey, showing that psychometrics can and should be used to bring access to finance and analyze risk. A little bit about our business model. So you have an initial calibration, especially with a new country. And then subsequent years, you'll have a subscription fee or a per applicant fee, depending on the size of the bank engagement and how they want to work. You'll see our partner evolution over the past 3 years. started in Africa, moved to Latin America and Asia in the last year, about half a dozen partners in India, Pakistan, and Indonesia. About $200 million has been dispersed that wouldn't have even gotten an application without EFL, and tens of thousands of applications have gone out with the EFL, the test inside of it. Here's a little bit of our footprint that I said. So the largest banks in Mexico, across Africa, largest bank in Pakistan, national banks in Peru and Brazil, top 5 banks in Indonesia and India, innovative partners doing great work in emerging markets. It's not just for people that don't have any sort of record. So you can use it as not quite a sole decision making, but you can use it to give a lot of information about making a loan decision. Or you can use it for folks they call thin file, which might have some amount of information, but not a lot, and they're declining them currently. You can use it for folks you're currently approving in order to add in risk-based pricing, add different products, change the terms of the loans. Or you can use it for your existing customers to see how you can keep your best clients and maybe protect your risk on some of the more risky ones. As far as competition, we sit in this kind of trilemma of psychometrics, big data, and credit screening. So the banks and the credit bureaus can do credit screening themselves. We don't see ourselves as a competitor, we see ourselves as being able to integrate and collaborate. So again, think of us as incremental information that we can quantify that the financial institutions and no one else can get about an individual. As far as psychometrics, previously it has been used traditionally for more pre-employment screening, personality profiling, and we've adapted that to see whether or not you'd be likely to repay a loan.
Well, is your system patented in some way, or what control do you have?
I'll get to that in a little bit, but we basically have a proprietary software on the back end, so the bank doesn't see the algorithm similar to what the bureaus use. On our team, we have kind of academic research from psychology and entrepreneurship across universities in the world. Our sales and operations team has startup and technology experience. We have all the initials you can imagine, PhDs, MBAs, CPAs. As far as what's next for us, I think we're always looking for innovative financial institutions and partners in growth markets. Distribution partnerships, credit scoring companies, credit card companies. And then always have our ears open for investment opportunities to help us kind of reach our strategic and growth goals. So if you believe that the emerging world is the key to kind of the future of the financial industry, 90% of folks live in the emerging world, and that these kind of structural impediments will prevent access to finance, we think EFL is a key in order to get to that goal.